While the Star Fox team is best known for flying their R-Wings, there are formidable opponents on land as well. The two GameCube games heavily focus on ground missions, where you run around as Fox and the others on foot. Unfortunately, Adventures in Assault got a lot of flack for taking Fox outside the R-Wing, but this idea actually began with Star Fox 64. A lot of players don't know this, but there is an on-foot mode in Versus. It's just locked behind the hardest challenge in the game, earning every medal in Expert mode. As you can see, it's very bare bones, with incredibly low poly models for the characters. They were really cutting corners to make this run here. It seems weird to put so much work into another game mode that most players will never even see. But it turns out, the developers had much bigger plans for on-foot mode. The Japanese guidebook ends with a pretty interesting interview with the game's creators. Now, I don't speak Japanese, and I don't know anyone who does. Last time I tried to hire a translator, they scammed me and just used AI. I caught them because I had already tried running it through the same AI. So for right now, I just have to do my best with machine translators, wrangling them until they spit out something that makes sense. Anyway, series godfather Takuya Imamura said, "There is one thing I regret. If you get all the medals, you can use the tanks in Versus, and you can also use Fox and the others. But we also considered making them usable in the main game as well." Programmer Takao Shimizu continues, "There was supposed to be one more stage between Bolts and Sector Z. On the route to enter Venom, there was another fortress level, and we wanted to make one where Fox runs around with a bazooka and fights Andross. So while discussing that, we said, okay, let's at least put it into Versus mode for now, and that part stayed in." Finally, Shigeru Miyamoto adds, "We had this big piece of paper posted up with a giant X marked on it. The route detoured around it." Okay, this is a lot to unpack. So they were aiming to have a third Andross fight, a third Venom Assault, and a third Stage 6. As it stands now, the last medium-level stage is Macbeth, at which point you're kicked onto the hard or easy route. But this would have brought 64 more in line with its predecessor, Star Fox 1, which had 3 full routes to choose from and 3 different endings. Let's take a look at this Andross fight first. We have a few different options for how it could have played out. I managed to mod Fox's on-foot version into a bunch of levels, so that's what you're seeing here. Option 1 is Andross's brain form. This seems likely since on-foot was first programmed for all-range mode. Option 2 is the fake Andross, though he's only really programmed for corridor mode. And option 3 is something entirely different, a third version of Andross specifically meant to be fought on foot, maybe with his own special arena. It's also worth noting that this maze of tunnels leading up to Andross feels kinda cool to run down on foot. In addition to the 3 Andross fights, there would have been 3 versions of Venom that led up to him. In the source code, Venom 2, the Starwolf version, is actually named Venom 03, skipping Venom 2. The upgraded versions of the Starwolf team are also given 03 as their suffix. The missing Venom 02 would have been this cut medium route version, and it's possible it's still in the final game. Certain courses have sub-areas, or second phases to their levels. For instance, Meteor and Sector X have warp zones, and both Andross fights are contained in the same level. Oddly, the corridor version of Venom 1 has an unused sub-area of its own. It was found years ago by Punk7890. It's like a shorter, unfinished version of Venom 1 that doesn't have the branching paths or swarms of enemies. The Golem boss fight also isn't set up properly. This sub-area goes unused, and there's no way to access it without a cheat code, but it could be the bones of the missing Venom medium stage, leading to the Bazooka Andross fight. Wishful thinking, but maybe all of this was intended for an on-foot version of Venom too. Like turret mode, I'm currently working on a mod that lets you play every level on foot, so stay tuned if you want to play it yourself sometime. That leaves us with the other level Shimizu mentioned. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. We know it would have been another stronghold or fortress level that guards Venom, so it probably would have been the missing 6th level on the medium route. Shimizu said it was between Bolts and Sector Z, so here? As stage 5.5? Like platform 9 3/4? Macbeth? There's a good chance he misspoke, and I don't really blame him. It seems like these stages were bumped around a lot as the deadline loomed. Levels were scrapped or combined, themes were swapped, and names were confusingly reused to refer to different things. But towards the end of development, there were 3 stages left that guarded Venom. Bolts, the turret mode Starblade stage, and Colony. Colony seems to have started as some sort of water level. It's grouped with the other levels that have liquid surfaces, and its boss was once a mackerel. It went through a bunch of changes and was ultimately combined with the turret mode level to make Area 6. Turns out, Colony's hiding right in plain sight. If we look at this promotional screen cap given to Dengeki 64, we can actually see it on the map. It's really hard to make out, but this level right here looks like the Area 6 fleet, while this level seems to be another giant space colony like Bolt's. Both their icons were probably combined to make Area 6's, with the colony model repurposed as just another enemy. Let's see if we can glean any hints from the game's lore. It wouldn't be the first time a dev's based backstory off development changes. The Japanese Player's Guide says Area 6 was once a space plantation built for the experimental cultivation of plants, at least before Andross turned it into a defense station. Could this missing colony level have been an experimental hydroponic garden? Things get even more interesting when you consider Colony's boss was named Cattleya, or Cattleya, and I don't think it was a mackerel at this point. Cattleya comes from the name of an orchid, and see the resemblance? Colony's boss is hiding right in plain sight. It was Gorgon all along. The carapaces look like petals, the tentacles kind of look like vines, and I could see it using photosynthesis to charge up this attack. It seems like Colony was supposed to be some sort of laboratory built for growing plants in space, but when Andross launched his invasion, he conquered the colony and mutated all the plants, turning one into another one of his giant bioweapons. There's a few more scraps hidden around the source code that are related to Colony. For one, there's this unused looping sound effect labeled Colony Level, like some sort of background noise or ambience. The background music is actually reused Versus Mode music, B Orbital, a reference to the Venom orbital stages from Star Fox 1, and also early music for Area 6. I think a level like this would have been awesome. Imagine being stuck outside your R-Wing exploring a dark, abandoned space station with a giant mutated plant lying in wait for you. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. But that's just speculation. It's hard to tell if Shimizu was referring to this as another on-foot level, or if it was just a field of satellites like in Area 6. So, why didn't they finish it? Well, it was just a matter of time. We had this big piece of paper posted up with a giant X marked on it. The route detoured around it, so I felt relieved, thinking, we might just make it in time. If there hadn't been a deadline, we'd probably still be making it now. We'd have worked ourselves sick. Deadlines really are a necessity. Colony, Venom Medium, and the Andross Bazooka fight are the last cut levels I could find from Star Fox 64. But that's still not the end of all the game's juicy scrapped content, so I'll see you in the next video.